Is It Actually Done?
Yeah, yep, that's the song.
Yeah, man, this music is, well, music is a very broad term. It's one of those things. Do I like that it exists as a piece of art? Yes. Is it a piece of music that I'm going to go back and listen to time and time again? Probably not.
Funny enough, this is one that I find very repeatable. But so I think it's kind of easy to lump music like this in with like the giant of noise music, Merzbow. But Merzbow is the point that I find it to be completely unlistenable. But this, I don't know, there's just some sort of magic about Pharmacon's music for me that keeps me coming back time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can't really get into Merzbow's music because it's so just random and violent and destructive, but Pharmacon has a more spiritual edge to her music. Like, her music is supposed to be like catharsis through this violent industrial like assault. Mm-hmm. And I think that sort of reaches me, funny enough. And this may not be the best song to introduce her work with. Mm-hmm. Like, Transmission off of Contact is a little more accessible compared to something like this, but I don't know, this one is such a ride of like, it's almost like an out-of-body experience just listening to those insane screams.
It's one of those things where I think that it would be greatly enhanced if it had like some sort of like animation or something to go along with it, some sort of visual element that ties everything together a little bit more, because it feels like it really does tell a story of catharsis like you were talking about, but it feels to me like it needs to be like it wants to be a little bit more grounded. Like it needs some sort of visual element to help tell the story, maybe. I don't know. Maybe this type of music just isn't for me, and that's fine too.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to tell you, though, I've never experienced it myself, but I have heard just these legends about her like live show, and I've seen some YouTube videos and they are just utter fucking insanity. Yeah. Like, she does all of this live completely by herself.
Really?
Like, she has this like ancient Mackie mixer, and running into it is like just all manner of these like homemade cobbled together sound toys. Like, there's just this giant hunk of sheet metal that she hits and loops, and then she's just sort of walking around the audience just screaming in people's faces into like a Shure SM58.
See, now that is actually like that's the type of art performance that I might actually want to go and see. That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, like seeing a Pharmacon show is literally on my bucket list. And she actually does have this wild music video that she made to promote her latest album, Devour. Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely disgusting. Like, it's shot on VHS, and it's like it almost looks like an art installation piece. It's just all these naked bodies contorted together in these absolutely ghoulish forms with like text written onto them in Sharpie. And they're like masked and stuff with just all these like compositing tricks. And I actually showed the video to David Peterson once as a joke, and he was like disgusted with me.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something that would be a hell of a trip to see, for sure.
Oh yeah. And her music's like that too, but she does that wonderful thing where this is a very, very specific sort of sound, but every single song that I've heard her record is just completely unique. Like, there's nothing in her category that sounds like the other. Like, she really is like a phenomenal sound designer.
Has she ever done anything specifically for like film or anything like that? Because I could see like some cool, this sort of avant-garde noise stuff being really good for like maybe a horror movie or something like that.
Not that I'm aware of, but she actually has, fun fact, a cameo appearance in Sound of Metal.
Oh, okay. That was a phenomenal film, by the way.
It was, and she was also like a consultant on that movie. Like their band at the beginning, she basically taught them how to sound like that.
Really?
Yeah. Like she was Olivia Cook's vocal coach for those musical scenes.
Yeah, that film was one of my favorites. Did that come out in 2020 or was that 2021? I don't remember.
I think 2020.
Okay, yeah. But that was one of my favorite films because it was just so devastating the way that it depicts hearing loss and stuff like that, and it makes a very good point about making sure that you take care of your ears and things like that because, once they're gone for the most part.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining me, Tyler. I'm glad you've been on the show again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
You're very welcome. This has been the Fresh Finds Podcast, the show about listening to new music with good people. Fresh.